Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to do a video on updates of the house and what's going on there. I know it's been a really long time since I did my empty house tour video and showed you guys around, but not much has happened since then. For a while nothing much had happened. I got my gas and electricity sorted, my water bill sorted, my council tax sorted, and just all that boring stuff. So I'll go through a little bit about how all of that worked, and then I ended up having somebody chop down the trees in the back garden, and finally now some work has started this weekend. So I'll go through everything in order of everything that I did. So when we first got the keys to the house, I noticed that there were no lights to the house, so of course the electricity meter needed to be paid. I went downstairs into the cellar where there's an electricity meter and also a gas meter, and I noticed that there was a charge of like 500 and something pounds on the electricity meter, and there was also an electricity key that needed topping up. I've never had to deal with a top-up key before, but I know friends that have had them in the past, so I knew that the key needed topping up. But of course, if I top the key up, then it would just cut the money straight from the key, so I didn't want to then pay for somebody else's electricity. And then the gas meter looked like it wasn't even working, so we wanted to get that sorted because we wanted to warm the house up. As far as we were aware, the house has been empty for about a year or so there's a lot of damp in the house, so we thought warming it up will just kind of dry it out a little bit. So my main aim was to get that looked at and to find the gas and electricity supplier. So I went through all the letters. There was a bunch of letters that were sent to the address. I went through all the letters and figured out which energy company we were with. Saw letters from a company called Boost. So I contacted Boost and we were with them. They told me that there was nobody living in the house for a while, and they've been trying to send letters to the house. I told them that I was the new owner, and of course they mentioned that they would clear the amount for me. They told me that it would take up until Monday. I think it was the Friday that I gave them a call, and they told me by Monday that the balance would be clear and I could go to the shop and top up the key. So Monday came round and I saw that the balance was still remaining on the meter, but what I did was take the key and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to top it up with £10 and see whether that just clears the machine once the key is inserted back in. So I went to a few different shops and I really struggled to find somewhere that did these key top-up cards. I went around shops in my parents' area, which is more towards the town centre, and I really struggled to find a shop. And then eventually I think my husband found one shop that topped it up, so it was topped up and we took it back to the house, put it in the machine, and it deducted £10 from the 500 and something pounds that was owing. So of course I called the company back and explained that, you know, I've been charged £10. So they said to me that the amount hadn't been cleared and what I needed to do was to get a new key and a new gas card. So I had to go to any of the shops that do that are a pay point or a pay zone, and I think they told me that it had to be a pay point and not a pay zone, though the key that my husband topped up was at a pay zone, so I don't know. They told me to go to a pay point and get a new card and a new key. So again, I went round all the shops, literally like 5-10 different shops, I don't even know, somewhere in between. I went to all these shops and nobody had a key or a card. It had to be anything but British Gas. So the first shop I went into, the machine doesn't work, they don't have anything, you know, it was just constantly like that. I found one place that had cards but no key, and then even then the machine didn't work, and many places were telling me the machine wasn't working. And then eventually I found some at Asda, but they were British Gas, and I was told to get anything but British Gas. Again, contacted the company, they told me that they would send me some out through the post. So they did that. They sent me a key and a card through the post, and I was able to, and then a letter that says where you can top them up. So I was able to top them up at one of the shops near where we are going to be living. So at least I know now where to top these things up. But of course in the future I am wanting to transfer to a monthly payment. They did tell me they would fit a smart meter in for me where I can top them up with my app, and I didn't have to then go into store and top them up that way. But unfortunately with the gas meter and electric meter being in the cellar, which is under concrete, it doesn't pick up on a smart meter, so I couldn't have one of those in. So eventually when I switch, I know I'm going to switch to a monthly one, I'm just going to have to give the readings across. I'm not going to be able to have a smart meter. But unfortunately the company that I was with, which is Boost, don't do pay monthlies, they only do the key and the card, the top-ups. So I had to leave the company, and I looked around, I shopped around, eventually settled on EDF for my monthly gas and electric. At the moment I'm still topping them up, but I think they said it'll be about a month until I'm transferred onto a pay monthly. I forgot to say as well, I did also call them about the gas meter not working at first, and they sent out an emergency engineer to the house. He got it to work, but he capped it because it was empty for a while and he wasn't sure whether there were any gas leaks or anything like that, so he wanted me to get a gas safety engineer to come and have a look at the property and then uncap it for me. So then I had a nightmare trying to find a gas safe engineer. I did find somebody, but he wasn't very reliable and I ended up going with somebody else. But he came round and it cost me about £40 to get it uncapped. The only things that are gas in the property is the radiator. We don't have a gas fire and we don't have a gas cooker or anything, so he deemed it safe and uncapped it for us. We also looked at the boiler, and the boiler was gushing with water when he turned a switch underneath, so he told me that we would need a new boiler. So not news that I wanted to hear, because boilers do cost quite a lot and it wasn't really in our budget. But he gave us a price for a mid-range boiler and said that he would knock off the call-out fee that he'd taken for the uncapping the gas. So we had a little think about it. My dad knows a plumber as well, so he called that plumber and luckily he was able to come round and fix it for us for about £30. So I think we're going to keep our boiler for now until we have the kitchen done, and we might look to change it then. So I'm just really glad that we were able to fix it. And then finally we did have an electrician come round as well and have a look at the electrics in the property and give us a certificate to say that everything was safe. So luckily everything did come back alright. But that is pretty much everything that we had to deal with for the gas and electricity, and it did take a few weeks to do that. And then we had to tackle the jungle, if you like, in the garden. We had a few quotes from people to come in and have a look at the garden. It was a big mess, and we had a big range of different quotes, some going to about 1600 and some quoting 150. So we went with a guy that said he would do it for 150, of course, and he came and did about half of the garden. I'll insert some images of what the garden used to look like and what it looks like now. But he came and did half of the garden, chopped half of it down, and the bit that goes up onto the wall he didn't do, and he wouldn't come back. And even though we told him we'd pay him more for it, he still wouldn't come back. So what we did was looked for somebody else to do the other half of the job. I think it was his friend, who then took a further £40 and did that as well. And we asked him to do the part in the neighbours, but he refused to do it, and he said he wouldn't do it at all, even with the extra money, which is a bit of a concern because we're worried that what's in the neighbours will creep across back into our property and on our wall, which we of course don't want. It's not the neighbours' fault, this has come from our side into their garden, so you know, we can't really expect them to pay towards it, but they have agreed to go 50-50, but it's just finding someone that will do it for us. So we're going to just have to look around for somebody else again. We've just kind of left it for now, because we just want to get on with the other building work in the house. The guys that did it though didn't clear it from the garden, and we were just hoping to wait for when the skip arrived for the chimney breasts, but the skip is absolutely full. We won't be able to put any of that in it, so instead we're looking for someone to come and clear it for us. So we've got a guy coming around with a quote, and he's not been yet. So that's the update on the garden, and then finally the update for inside the property. So for the last 2 months nothing has happened to the inside of the property. We've had quite a few quotes from people. We've had a range of quotes again from 12,000 to 8,000, and we finally settled on somebody that my dad is friends with, who's worked on some of my dad's older properties before and this property as well, and he just seemed a bit more reliable. The others wouldn't turn up. We had to call them a few times to get them to come over and give us a quote, and I just thought, well, if they're not available to come round and give us a quote, I don't want to be then chasing them up to come round to do a job. The only catch was that this guy we had to wait 2 months for him because he had another job, but he did say that he wouldn't take on any other jobs after 2 months. So he would then be available, which is what's taken us to this now really. So over the weekend he messaged my dad and he told me that he would get started on removing the chimney breasts from the property. We have the chimney breast in the bathroom, which was our main chimney breast that we wanted to have removed, and he quoted us around 800 for one chimney breast, but then said he would do both of them for 1,200. So it'll go straight down from the bathroom to the living room. So we agreed to do that because it would just open up the living room space as well. Even though it's a pretty big living room, it wasn't a chimney breast that we could use because of course it won't be connected to the roof anymore. It wouldn't be there wouldn't be anywhere for the smoke to go anymore, and also it was all boarded up and bricked up actually, so we wouldn't have been able to use it anyway. So we can't really make a feature of it either, so we decided it's best just to get rid of it. For the extra £400, it was definitely worth it, and he said that we might regret it if we didn't do it. We might regret it in the future. So thinking about it for a while, it was true that we did think we might as well do this now while the house is empty. Otherwise, we might decide in the future that it is something that we want to do and it's going to create a big mess in a house that's already done up. So yeah, so we decided to go ahead with that. We also did want to break the chimney breast in the master bedroom and dining room, but I didn't want to fork out the extra cash for something that wasn't as necessary as the one in the bathroom. But my husband was quite adamant. He wanted to put a chest of, not a chest of drawers, sorry, a fitted wardrobe all the way across the wall where the chimney breast is in the master bedroom, which I completely understand. It will again make it a much bigger space, a much nicer space, but I just didn't want to pay the extra money. It's not something that we budgeted for. But after the builder came on the Saturday and he knocked the full chimney breast down in the bathroom and living room, and I have again a video footage of that I'll insert. And that builder called us and told us that that was done in a day, and he was willing to give us a discount on the chimney breast in the master bedroom and dining room if we were interested, and he quoted us £700. So £1,200 for that set of chimney breasts and £700 for that set of chimney breasts was a big price difference, and because we wanted to have it done anyway, we thought it was definitely worth paying. So we have paid for that, and we've had all 4 chimney breasts in the house knocked down, making it a much bigger space for all 4 rooms. It's definitely completely unlivable in there. So at the moment we've got 2 bedrooms and the kitchen that are unaffected by the building work at the moment. Every other room in the house is like a bomb site. It's full of soot from the chimney breasts, full of dust, rubble and brick. So yeah, it's a bit of a nightmare. But you know, it's amazing to see that work has started. I'm really excited to see what the space is going to become. The bathroom does look a lot bigger, as you can see in the images in the video footage. You'll see that the bathroom is so much bigger, and very grateful that we were able to do that. I don't have any video footage of the master bedroom and the dining room, and I haven't been to see it myself, but I am really excited about seeing how they've changed as well. We did order a skip for all the brick and the rubble to go into. It was a 10, I think it is. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed some of that video footage. I hope that you're just as excited about it as I am. I do want to put up a video on how me and my husband purchased the property as well, so I'll be putting that up soon. But if you like this sort of a video, want to see more of updates on the house, please give it a big thumbs up. Leave a comment down below if you have any other questions, and please subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.